Hi, it's Anna from the Heartbeat Hive. Today, I want to talk about the duality of art and your goals, your vision for yourself, and really about the duality of life. I'm Anna. I'm a lifestyle designer and creative flow coach for anybody who wants deeper focus and to reach their goals, but especially for creative people. Why? Because I'm a creative person and I know the shuffle, the tangled, the fog, the bliss and the misery of creating and putting yourself out there through the world of art. This is a painting I did with oil pastel, watercolor, and India ink. Okay. Duality. There's always a positive and negative, a yin and yang, an opposite. And if we can remember this in the process of making art, then these peaks and valleys will not seem so crazy. If we can zoom out for a moment during the frustration and remember, I'm in the middle. I am not at the end. And some people might say, well, how do you know if you're at the end? Well, for me, I'm not at the end of any goal, any vision for myself until I'm dead. That's when I've officially run out of time. Until then, it is my job to persist. Now, does it take discipline to take a break? Yes, it sure does. Let's remember the 4 stages of the flow cycle. We have 1, which is called struggle. I like to call that the setup phase. 2, which is release. That's when all the great chemicals are flowing in our brain and our body. And we are about to hit our stride. Something is clicking. Everything starts to flow. Then we go into the flow stage of the flow cycle. The good part, the part that everyone loves to remember. And then we come out of it and we realize we've been in flow and we enter the recovery stage. Okay, so let's go back to duality. We cannot have flow without complete rest. We cannot come up with our ideas if we don't allow space for our ideas. For example, if you are consuming too much on overdrive, maybe it's because you're seeking dopamine. Maybe it's because you think you don't have any good ideas, or you feel like you're not going to be good enough. Well, as long as you're consuming too much of other people's art, that is going to be true. So you need to empty yourself so that you can then create. When you overconsume past the point of inspiration, you endanger yourself to remain either in struggle for a very, very long time or to enter burnout. And that will leave you in the recovery stage way longer than you would like. So there is a dual nature to this. Now, let's move on to failure and success. All right, first things first. I would like to suggest stop calling it failure, okay? If you zoom out and you remember that you're in the middle, not the end, then the middle and seeming, failures, those aren't exactly failures. They are steps toward your ultimate vision. It is our job to persist, to remain committed to the truth of what is inside of us and exploring, not even deciding, but exploring ways for that truth inside of us, that experience, that perspective to be emitted and transformed into a new format, whether it's a song, an embroidery, a photo, a dance, choreography, you know, anything that you can think of that's creative. That's our job as artists. And if you want to apply this to another field in life, go ahead. It all applies. We cannot continue to see failure as a disappointment. We have to see it as another step toward our greatest vision. If you can relieve yourself of seeing things as failures, your life is going to get a lot smoother. Now, smoother meaning you will be able to zoom out and remember that you're in the middle, not the end. And in the manifestation world, if you go and look at those type of videos, a lot of those teachers talk about not messing with the seed that's in the ground. So when we mess with the middle, we say, oh, I'm not good enough, I suck, I don't want anyone to see my art, I can't do this, what am I thinking, everyone else is better than me, all that garbage. That's like us poking the seed and then saying, why isn't it growing? How can we have a chance at success if all we talk about is failure, 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 when really it's just one foot in front of the other, one day at a time, one step at a time, one piece of paper at a time, one exercise at a time, one practice at a time. That is the way to see your vision come true. Now, along the way, you're going to have to adapt. You're going to evolve. You're going to learn. And by the repetition of putting one foot in front of the other and taking it day by day, that is where you're going to get the feedback that you need to improve your skill and guide yourself and change direction and pivot and evolve. Okay? That is where you're going to get that. In the repetition and the commitment to repeat whatever you are building, whatever activities you are doing, whichever behaviors you're repeating, whoever you decide to be over and over and over and over. That includes speaking about yourself. That right there is what creates the vision. So I'm encouraging you to zoom back out when you feel like you're down in the valley and the valley is the only thing that exists. Zoom back out and see that life is pretty much a series of peaks and valleys. Where the mastery comes into your art, into who you are and who you want to be, is zooming out and saying, yeah, I know this is hard, or I know this is a little tough, a little challenging, or maybe a lot challenging, but I have to remain committed and focused to the vision that I want, the goal that I have, the person I'm going to be. And then send yourself some love for being on this journey. Remind yourself, oh yeah, I'm doing the thing. If I stop doing the thing, then I don't get to celebrate the thing. If I give up on the thing, I'm giving up on myself. It's okay to change your mind, but truly ask yourself, are you giving up on your deepest desires because you have fear of failure? And if the answer is yes, you're not alone. And we can go through this process many times throughout the year. And for me, each time, the yearning to create, the desire to write another song, to paint another picture, to do these other creative projects, that tells me, that is the biggest indicator that whatever's inside of me and my biggest goals and dreams have not come to fruition yet if I keep returning to the flow activities, if I keep returning to seeing that vision in my mind of whatever I'm wanting. So I just keep going. And some days are really, really hard. They're total crap. Some days are like, I made it through. And then some days I'm at the peak and I'm like, this is fucking great. Yeah, I'm doing it. But I just wanted to come on here and remind anyone out there who's feeling like they just can't do it anymore. Really sit down with yourself and ask, am I afraid of failure, or can I change my thoughts and ideas of what it actually is? Which is not a disappointment. It is you having indicators and direction to change or to keep going or to notice yourself in that moment. Who am I being? Okay, that's it for today. Hopefully I will talk to you soon. You can go to my website, heartbeathive.com, to check out my coaching options.